there's one more thing. Lot of parties or organizations were banned. So, of course, the left CPI was supporting emergency, so there were no issues. CPM was not in the good book, but CPM and its allied organizations were not generally targeted, I am told. But what was the experience you had in as far as JNU is concerned?
No, you see, we had a very clear impression that JNU was uh, on their target because large number of students had their scholarships stopped. There were clear instructions that those who are active in opposition to the government, they should not be given scholarship. So my scholarship was stopped. I had to leave the hostel and go back home because this is my guide told me that these are orders and we cannot continue to give you the scholarship. So lots of students lost their scholarships, lost of them lot, and many of them who relied on the scholarship to be able to pay their room rent and the mess charges had to leave. Many of them shifted and they started living with friends and families of friends in Delhi because they could no longer continue to stay in the hostel.
So
So,
what
and
was
this
this?
targeting went on because there was this dear friend of mine, Jasbir, who was he was with the socialist Lohia and Ragnarayan, and.
Okay.
So he did something which was really remarkable. On the streets in Daryaganj, they used to sell these huge posters of national leaders.
Okay.
So there were also huge posters of Mrs. Gandhi. He bought a whole lot of them, color posters. And he knew a small press in Shadra or somewhere, maybe Patel Nagar, I don't know, somewhere. He knew the press owner. It was a small press, doing those small lost and found kind of posters. Those kind of things he used to print, and wedding invitation cards, and He went to him and asked him to print vertical stripes on
Okay.
that paper, and he got one line composed, which was printed in Hindi. The idea was the text said the last place for the dictator.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
He got
So
the
there was in fact, there was a resistance kind of thing activity in JNU.
absolute.
I'm told in Delhi University also the campus where Arun Jaitley, Ravi Nair, and all of them were also
No,
active.
no. I'll talk about that. These posters, he on his own individually. There is nobody involved. He is sticking around in different parts of the city. While sticking one of these posters, he was caught,
Okay.
and he was brought to the Parliament Street police station. And they wanted to make a case that this is an all India conspiracy. And he kept on saying, "No, I have done it on my own. There is nobody involved." They wouldn't believe him, and he was tortured, very badly tortured, very,
Okay.
very. They hung him upside down and kept him in that position for hours and days.
Mhm.
And they pulled his nails out and they pulled his beard hair by hair. He was
Mhm.
tortured terribly, and it took him a long time to recover from all that. So
Okay.
that kind of thing happened in JNU very soon. We did our before the raid. We had already removed quite a lot of our people who were very active in the students' union and who we knew are going to be targeted. So we moved them away. Or they used to, as I was telling you earlier, they used to sleep in a different room every night, and that room will be locked from outside. So, and we also started taking out a journal called
No,
the Resistance. And this journal for initial period,
Hmm.
it used to be handwritten on a stencil paper,
Okay.
and then we used to duplicate it
Okay.
on cyclostyling machine. We
Yes.
had a cyclostyling machine in a room in jail,
Okay.
and we waited till everybody, because those days those hand operated, this was the hand operated machines. They
Operated.
made a
Yes.
lot of noise.
Yeah.
So you had to do it. You had to place it in a room which had several SFI people staying on both sides, so that
Okay.
nobody else could hear. And then
Hmm.
we would cyclostyle them, and then they would be slipped under every hostel room after 3 or 4 at night.
Okay.
And we had bugged out people. The girls' hostel. Somebody would come out around that time, will be handed over the uh,
Hmm.
cyclostyle leaflets, and she'll go back into the hostel and slip. And they had floor in charges. Each floor there was one girl in charge. They'll slip them in all the rooms and go to sleep.
Okay.
When morning, when people woke up,
Huh.
each room had a, and this
Copy of.
was a report of what was happening all over the country.
Okay. Where did you get this information? Because there was censorship those days.
No, there were a whole lot of sources. For example, there was the coffee house
Okay.
in Delhi,
Hmm.
and that is why Sanjay Gandhi got it closed.
Okay.
People traveling to Delhi, and
Hmm.
people kept on coming for work and all that. Some journalist is traveling to Delhi. He will make a beeline for the uh, coffee house,
Hmm.
and in the evening there'll be impromptu press conferences.
Okay.
And all those people who knew him,
Hmm.
or they will bring out small leaflets and written cyclostyle. They will be distributed from one coffee table to another, and by
Hmm.
next morning everybody knew what is happening in Bihar, what is happening in Bangalore. So we found out what the whole Baroda conspiracy, this, that, all
Hmm. Hmm.
these kind of things, and students' agitations, working class agitations. These news came, and also of arrest, who's being picked up, what are the charges. So this kind of thing.
Hmm.
Plus, also we had stories of how people have resisted autocratic regimes all over the world. So
Okay.
all that used to be there, and nobody knew. Nobody in the university knew.
Hmm.
Throughout the emergency, this leaflet kept on getting published and distributed, and we
Okay.
used to smuggle out some copies from JNU outside, and they would go to Delhi University. Then Delhi University people started their own, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that went on.
Okay, so then there was this. I heard that Maneka Gandhi was a student, daytime student in a language thing during those days, or soon
Yes,
after that.
yes. You see, there was I forget the entire sequence, but the university administration had issued some orders, and some action was taken, and the students' union, which was underground, and this you must remember, the students' union was banned. They were told that you cannot function. The students' union office was closed. We did not accept it. We said you can't ban the students' union. You haven't created it. Students have created it. They will decide what to do with it. So the students' union continued to work underground.
So,
When some of these decisions were
who was
passed,
who was the president then? Was it Prakash Karat or somebody else?
no, no, Prakash was not the president at that time. This would be 75 emergency. Uh, I think I'm forgetting who was the president actually.
Hmm.
75. I don't really remember.
Okay, so let's
I
come
just
back to.
forget it.
Okay,
But
let's come back to Maneka Gandhi. I was told that
no, yeah,
to
yeah.
see
So there
Maneka
was
Gandhi,
some.
Sanjay Gandhi used to come to the camp.
I don't remember. In India, Sanjay Gandhi didn't have anything to do with reading and writing. So, but Menka Gandhi had joined, if I remember correctly, the Center for French Studies. And we had given a call for a 3-day strike in the university during the emergency. And Menka Gandhi, who wasn't a very regular student, she arrived and she wanted to go into the School of International Studies, and there were students picketing the gate, and they told her that college is on strike, university is on strike, no classes are happening, so there is no point of you going inside. But she pushed her way in, and she came out after 15-20 minutes or whatever, and it is then that she rang up the police. And this I forget his IPS officer who drove into the campus in his white ambassador, and Probir was sitting outside the School of International Studies. She was prevented from going to the class in the School of Languages, which is about 200 meters away. But Probir was sitting on the outside the School of International Studies. This IPS fellow just jumped out, and two other cops jumped out with him. They ran, grabbed Probir, dragged him in the car, and drove him. And after that, there was mayhem in the university, students protesting and all that. And that day or the day after, we caught hold of two police informants, and these students won't let them go. So finally, the security officers came, the university's security officers, and these fellows were taken to the registrar's office, and they were made to write apology letters or something, and they were told that they will not set foot in the university until the vice chancellor calls for police force. They are not going to enter the campus. So we were able to, and one must give credit to the
What
university.
about the political activity? Was there any political activity in Delhi? Because most of the leaders in Delhi were arrested, I was told.
No, there were, you see, there were seminars, there were discussions that went on. There were restrictions, but we found ways. For example, Majru Sultanpuri was visiting Delhi, and we got to hear of it. So we invited him to the campus, and he read all his protest poetry, and it went on for hours in the
So,
Center for Russian Studies.
hmm,
And we showed films, quite a lot of films were shown during that period, of protest, and protest music was sung, and and
hmm,
plus there was this resistance, the paper. For example, I'll give you one example. There was some cultural event organized in the university during the emergency.
hmm,
We used to have an open air auditorium which has rarely been used, but it was used on that occasion, and all students were asked to be present there for the cultural program. And the education minister was going to be visiting, was going to be the chief guest, and the education minister was Sayyid Nurul Hasan,
so,
great historian and a great scholar, but he was the education minister at that time. So, and we were told that if there is any protest and slogan raising and this that, strict action will be taken, and everybody was asked to present themselves. So we decided what we are going to do. All of us went. All of us went. We mobilized that
hmm,
all of us will go, and we sat there and watched the entire cultural program. And then the education minister got up to speak. As he took the dais, the entire student community got up and walked out without raising a single slogan. We just left.
Okay.
He was talking to empty rows of stone steps. There was nobody there, except there would have been some people who were with the NSUI and all that, and the the whatever faculty that was deputed there, they could not leave, and there would be some security. But the entire student community, entire, walked. So they were protesting.